tells me
I
otherwise.
hope that you're wrong.
Yes.
For the
Speaking
Giants' sake.
for former Giants and teammates of Eli Manning here, we got some kind of crazy, disturbing, sad news here from our old buddy Antonio Pierce, who's of course now the head coach over in the Las Vegas Raiders there. And yeah, there's a picture of that empty wallet there because his wife has officially filed for divorce. So it looks like back in the 2010s, Antonio Pierce invested in some car dealerships, during which he made some personal guarantees. Now, for those who may not know what that means, if you give a personal guarantee, it says, listen, they're going to pay you. And if they don't, I will. That's the scary thing when you're not the one in control of all the financial decisions. It's like I would never do personally, but I also don't have that kind of money to make those kind of investments. So who knows? Anyway, when the businesses stopped paying on those loans, the lenders went after those who had made personal guarantees, including Pierce. The Nissan Motor Acceptance Corporation has a $23 million judgment against Antonio Pierce. The Hyundai Capital America has a $4.5 million judgment, which is scary when that seems small because of the first one. That's still a ton of money right there. So, it's a huge amount. It's $27.5 million altogether for those who aren't the best at math. So his wife filed for divorce as a filed for bankruptcy. No, she didn't file for divorce. That's a bad slip.
Yeah.
She filed for bankruptcy as a result. Who knows? Maybe they're fighting. I'd probably be fighting. If
you're about to lose $27 million, I'm sure your wife would be
usually fighting marriages over that. But yeah, she filed for bankruptcy. I'll be honest. I know a lot of people are confused about this as well. I don't pretend to be a financial expert, but why did she file instead of him? That is one thing that was a little interesting. I saw a bunch of other people asking the same questions, and I don't mean like on Twitter or on Facebook. I mean like articles saying we're not sure why she did this instead of him.
Yeah,
yeah. So it's a bit confusing at that point. There, obviously, there's a lot of legal stuff and reasons why people do this. This is why people with tons of money hire accountants, lawyers, and things like that to make the decisions for them. There's probably some legal benefit, I have to imagine. Obviously, he signed a brand new deal with the Raiders, like I said, to be a head coach for them this offseason after being the interim head coach for the second half of the year. The Raiders do not release the terms of their head coaches or coaches in general. It is believed to be a 3-year deal. But obviously, articles are going like easy. Oh, Antonio Pierce could be working for free now, blah, 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 which is like, that just sounds bad, but it might be kind of true. We'll see.
Yeah.
To give you an idea of what Pierce did as a player here, guys, because Pierce is one of those guys, because he played when he played. Like the Giants were obviously the first Super Bowl run with Antonio Pierce. He was there for the good years. The year that Plexico shot himself, before that we were on pace to be like the team in the NFL. Like he was there for some really great Giants years. And I feel like we put him on a pedestal, kind of, so to speak, as a player because of that. But he didn't make the same kind of money that the guys make now. I mean, it's just not, it's a different era he played in, guys. So I know people think that, like, oh, here we go. He made a lot of money probably with football. He's good to go. So like Bobby Okereke, for example, we signed him. I'll use him as the most recent big signing we had at the linebacker position. 4 years, $40 million. So 10 years, $10 million a year, basically. Pierce, 6 years, $26 million was his contract he signed with the Giants, guys. So that's less than $5 million a year, which is a lot at the time. Like, don't get me wrong, that was a good contract to get at the time. But that's like what you give a backup linebacker now. So, it's one of those things now where he might not have that kind of money lying around because he wasn't making the big bucks these guys make nowadays. Obviously he's made other investments. Hopefully those have panned out for him, because I don't know legality as far as how easy these things are to get out of, but I can't imagine if you gave a personal guarantee that it's not, without things like bankruptcy, which are there for a reason, obviously, not necessarily very easy to get around things. And part of the thing you have to look at also is, where does he live? Or does it matter where he works? Because there's different laws in different states as far as bankruptcy. That's why when people, like let's say OJ, for example, when he owed a lot of money to the Goldman family after their civil suit they went against him after losing the initial, criminal suit, he immediately bought a house in Florida. and the most expensive house he can buy because your primary residence is protected in Florida from bankruptcy. So there's different stuff, and this is why you get lawyers involved and all this kind of stuff and accountants, because they know these rules and loopholes and what they can do to help you out there at that point. So, hopefully Antonio Pierce will be just fine. Hopefully he's got that money just lying around at that point there, made some good investments. I don't know. I don't pretend to know the man's finances. I barely know my own. God damn it. It's like, I don't even know what I have in the bank right now. Who knows? Got something.
I might be having ramen for dinner tonight. Ramen noodles.
Nothing wrong with some ramen noodles there at that point. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we don't know. This could be a drop in the bucket for him if he made a lot of great investments. This could be like, I'm screwed. My whole life savings are gone. I have to sell my house. Like, chances are it's probably somewhere in the middle. He's probably got some of it lying around. He'll probably have to make payments to pay the rest of it off there, or he'll file for that bankruptcy, and that'll protect him enough where he's good to go and won't have to pay it. I don't know. We'll find out. Just hope the best for him. He was listen, he was always a great guy in the locker room and a great giant overall when he was with us. You never heard a disparaging word from any of his teammates. He was very well respected in the organization years after he left. I know that a lot of guys that were with him during the Giants said great things about him, obviously, when he's hired by the Raiders there. So, all the best of luck to him with everything, because that's not a fun scenario to go through at that point.
No.
This is why I go low risk investments. I don't.
You don't put a guaranteed loan on your name.
Yeah. Well, I also would never be in the position to have $27.5 million in debt that I am responsible for. That's just crazy.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.